Heyo everybody, Haku here with my review for Centaur and Nayami episode 8. Now, this one is kind of weird because I thought the first half was actually really good, and then I don't even know what's up with the second half. It's not like I thought it was bad, it was kind of pointless. But either way, let's talk about it part by part so I don't forget stuff. First up, we see Hime doing archery, or whatever, horseback archery. And except she's a centaur, so there is no horseback to it, but still, she's great at it, kind of, sometimes. She did really, really well, and then she whiffed a shot. Then we see the white hair braid centaur, very much yay. I really like the design. Her name is Ayaka, she's a middle schooler, and I love the way they joke that she's in her rebellious phase. At first she blushes at Sasasul, I thought, so I thought that was weird. But apparently it's Hime that she likes, but Hime's face that she made in the flashback was hilarious too of what happened last year at the meet. We see actually another centaur named, this was a long name so I wrote it down, Kanatamore, I believe was her name. And she's Hime's senpai actually. Hime does say that Ayaka's from a wealthy family. Then we see the centaur meet finally happens. There are lots of centaurs there. I thought it was all cool. We meet Shino's friend Maki, and we have some more cute things of children not really understanding Sasasul. Then we see that Ayaka, yeah, she does like Hime. I thought it was funny as well when they made the bet, when they're like, when Hime was like, okay, you can go on a date with me if I lose. I like that when she was going out there, she was thinking, what'll we wear, what'll we do? And stuff like that instead of focusing. But she did win apparently because they go on the date. I thought that was so cute. I thought it was cute and funny as well that Sasasul and Kyoko and Nozomi were watching on, and they sucked at following them. And then when they got caught, they're like, I wonder whose fault it was, even though it's obviously Sasasul was like periscoping over the bushes. But yeah, I'm actually kind of sad that we didn't get to see the actual date. I think that would have been a much first it would have made sense to do the second half of the episode be the date. It would have been interesting, it would have developed the characters more, it would have been just good overall. I can't see a single negative outcome from just having the date be the second half of the episode, but instead of logically having that be the second half of the episode, we just skip it all together and get some mermaid stuff that was really pointless. Like, of course I gave it a chance, and I was watching, I was like, okay, now we're getting to see some mermaid stuff. I wish we would have saw the date, but we're getting to see some mermaid stuff. And then as it went on, I'm like, okay, this is kind of boring and pointless. And that's the big problem, is that the whole mermaid thing that spent almost half of the episode was like, it seemed boring and pointless. Also, another complaint is the damn censorship. I don't know if there's a censored or uncensored version, and I was just an idiot watching the censored version instead of the uncensored, but the censorship was way, way worse. Like, there's one thing where you can have, like, the scene so that something is blocking the way, or that kind of cheesy censorship that sometimes works out and it's all perfectly fine. I think that's happened this season probably a lot in Tenchi no 3P, but that's happened in another series too. Just can't think of the name, where they've done censorship like that when a character was naked. But doing this kind of censorship that Centaur and Nayami did, you might as well just show the nipples, just show the boobs. Like, the censorship was much, much worse than the actual boobs could have been. I know you're not allowed to show certain things, but if you're not allowed to show certain things, just find a different way to do censorship. That was really, really bad. And again, I'm not going to take away from the episode because that was bad, because I don't know if that was the actual episode or if I was just watching a censored version. There's two separate versions, because for some shows there are. But either way, also the festival that the mermaids had, there were armed guards there, which is kind of like something we're kind of getting used to seeing, but it still seems weird. So then they have the creepy fake god, and the whole time I'm thinking, okay, maybe is this a movie one of them are watching? Because I know we see different stuff here and there, and it all kind of ties into the world, but this just seemed really, really pointless. I was like, maybe it's a movie that they're watching, and at the end it seemed like maybe it was a story that Sasasul was telling or asking about, but it seemed so weird. and it seemed like this whole fake god thing was an Antarctican conspiracy, but they weren't like the normal Antarcticans, which is why I was thinking it was a movie too, because they had like fishtails plus 4 limbs. So it was weird. It was like Nagas, like mermaid Arcticans. Then at the very end, we have them talk about that and all, and they ask if Tama believes in gods, and Tama thinks to herself, and she's like, well, for money, I believe in gods, pretty much. Because she's pretty much like, well, we can't scientifically prove it, and on the other hand, she's like, well, I don't know, can we jump to that conclusion? And then she was like, and what pays our bills? So, she believes for money. And we see Sue still playing with many ghosts, so adorable. And yeah, guess that's what we got here. Basically, thoughts on the whole episode. I loved the first half, and I thought the second half with all the mermaid stuff was kind of boring. It kept losing my not really losing my attention, because I paid attention so that I could do a review, but like it just kind of dragged on. It didn't keep my interest. It was boring and it seemed pointless, and I think again the show would have been way better if we would have just seen the Ayaka and Hime date instead. I think that would have been a million times better, because it would have made sense and probably been good and carried on to develop the characters more for future episodes. So this episode was a big failure in my opinion. The first half was good. I think I gave it too high a score though. I'm gonna cut back on the score I put up here. I'm gonna give it a 4.5. Definitely lowest score I've given the show, but 4.5 Centaur Archers out of 10. I was originally going to give it a 5.5, but I'm cutting back because just thinking and talking through it, it's like half the episode was a complete waste when we could have had something good. So, I mean, I really do think that this episode was a bit of a failure. They had everything laid out for them to do it right, and the manga... This is probably following the manga pretty closely. Probably, maybe, you can correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, I don't know. It just seemed pointless. So either way, that's it. Like, if you did like the video, comment down there to tell me what you thought of this episode and what you thought of my thoughts on it. Subscribe for more Centaur and Nayami and much more on the channel. Follow on Twitter if you want. I can try to keep you updated there and stuff for the channel or talk to you there. If you want a link to our Discord server, just ask and I'll give you one. That's it. So thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.